Hey, Julia Barzyk from Wise Investigator. As I'm recording this, we are on day 18 of the 2025 government shutdown. That's discouraging. There's not a sign that I've seen to indicate that things would be changing anytime too soon. Hopefully, they will. The government will reopen. But as of right now, this is where we are. Very easy to feel discouraged about funding at this time, but keep in mind when the government does reopen, the proposals will begin to be processed again and things will start moving. So what does that mean for you right now? Again, we're 18 days into this. So if you have been using this time to get a little break from some of this stuff, it's understandable, but I encourage you to not use this time to let up on the gas. You want to keep the momentum that you have or regain some momentum and keep moving forward towards your research funding goals. It's very important to keep doing this during this time. Why is it? Well, when the government is fully operational again and the program officers are back in their desks working, processing proposals, reachable, etc., we very well could be looking at some compressed timelines. Just think back to earlier in this year. There are two early career programs that many PIs are very interested in. Those would be the ONR and the AFOSR YIP. They generally have deadlines around the springtime and then due early summer generally. But this year, they were delayed in being announced. Those opportunities didn't open until much later in the year. But of course, those programs have to open and process proposals, close, make announcements of the winners, etc., during this fiscal year. So what that means is that those opportunities opened late, and there was not a lot of time for PIs to prepare for those opportunities during these two short windows over the summer. So we can expect some kinds of similar things to be happening when things reopen. It's possible that some deadlines will be delayed to give you enough time to prepare or as much time as you would normally have. But it's also very possible that agencies could try to adhere to normal deadlines, in which case, if you haven't been preparing, you could be really caught in not a great situation. You don't want to see an opportunity that's a great fit for you that you really want to pursue, but be looking at the calendar and your calendar and thinking this isn't going to be feasible, when if you had done some planning, it could have been feasible. So there's a lot of different things that you could be doing right now to get yourself on track. So when this reopens, you can hit the ground running, not have to do a whole ramp up and then start moving. So I'm not going to list what all of those are. I go into a lot of that stuff in other videos, but I will give you two things to keep in mind right now. One is the importance of finding your contacts and drafting emails, coming up with a plan to contact these people. Just because you're not going to email them right now if they're a federal funder, that doesn't mean that you can't locate the person, send them a connection request on LinkedIn, and draft an email to them and create a spreadsheet or any kind of note-taking application you can use to enter in their contact information and leave space to enter when you're going to contact them, any other notes about them that you want to have. So all of that can be set up so that when the government reopens, you can wait a week to let people get settled back into their jobs. And after that, you can fire off these emails. So that is one thing that you can be doing right now. And I think you should be doing that. And that's what we're doing with our clients. They're still gathering all that information and working towards making contact. The other thing that's very important to do is to make sure that you have lined up support. So whether you want to reach out to us and start working with us and our coaches so we can get you going to make the most of this time right now, and or you want to refresh a connection with someone in the research office or introduce yourself to those people if they don't know you yet, and have take some opportunity to get some FaceTime with those people, a person there, one or more people. Let them get to know you, tell them about your research and your goals for funding, and let them help you start that process. Because then when things again do open up, you have to make decisions quickly. You're going to have somebody that you can rely on because they already know your situation somewhat, even if you have to refresh them a little once you've made a good contact and establish some kind of relationship, that's easier to reactivate a few months or 6 months down the road. And you want to take the time to do that now so that, again, when things start moving, you have a support in place. So, of course, there's all the boilerplate documents that you could work on. You could work on reaching out to private funders, connecting with industry, all that other stuff. Too, of course, if you're motivated to do that, do it. But if you want some a quick suggestion, I'm going to leave you with those two, right? So that was prep your correspondence, do the search, find the people, draft the emails. You just save those in draft. And the other one is make sure you have some support lined up. So at some point, the government should reopen. This stuff should come back online. Don't make the mistake of thinking there's just going to be less money for me. There very well may be less money overall, but depending on what programs you're applying to, what disciplines you're in, what agencies you rely on or you plan to apply to, this is all going to be different for every individual. So do not make the assumption that there's going to be no opportunities for you. And if you do think you're in a situation that's going to be more difficult, maybe because of your research area, that's something to start talking about with your research office, because those folks are thinking about things too. And those kinds of things are very much on their minds and the conversations that they're having, and they can help you brainstorm some solutions for that. So hang on. We'll get there eventually. Don't be discouraged and keep moving forward.